All right, welcome everybody to Youngstown Studio. Here today with my special guests, Jason, Josh, and Winfield of Album. How you guys doing?
Good.
Hey, doing good, BJ.
Wow.
So yeah, a couple big shows you guys got coming up this Friday, November 29th. You'll be at Noble Creature with Kill the Hippies,
Yes.
a little Black Friday celebration, and then next Friday, December 6th, you guys are at Westside Bowl with Bridesmaid, Super Corruptor, and Punching Moses.
Yeah.
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 That'll be a fun show.
Yep.
Yes.
Double
that's a lot.
Fridays.
Yeah, double Fridays.
Yeah.
Both in Youngstown. Oh, man.
A couple weekends. I don't think Youngstown can handle that much rock.
Can't go to the Roger Sale on those Fridays, guys. We gotta get warmed up for these shows.
Well, yeah, man. Well, again, thank you guys for coming out. So, take me back to your origins, because the first time I saw you guys, right, we go way back to when we were like teenagers playing at the East Palestine Legion, and you guys were in a pop punk band, the Rydells, back then. And
Correct.
Josh, you were what, like 10 at the time?
Yeah, I was about 12 when we were in Cody Lambert's,
Okay,
and which may have been one of the first bands you saw us play in, the Cody Lambert's, maybe.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when I first saw Album, we played a show with you guys at Barley's, I think, at the time.
Yes.
And yeah, so but Keenan was like, oh, it's you guys. Because we've gone from pop punk to, and Album is definitely not pop punk. No.
Right.
But so describe the origins of the band. Kind of how did you guys all hook up and get together? And how did you guys kind of flip out of the sort of pop punk mode into what you guys sound like now, which is, if anybody doesn't know, is much more on the heavy side.
Well, we were in the Rydells doing our thing, and that kind of was just fading out. Tastes were changing and whatnot. Once that kind of disbanded, Josh and I just started kind of writing some AC/DC sounding rock songs just to kind of goof off in the garage, and wrote one. Had Winfield come over, do some background vocals, and then that around in that summer we were just porch hanging. Mm-hmm. And then we just kind of was like, we're just hanging out all the time.
Might as well
These
just start
guys
playing.
know we all know how to play instruments. So let's just hang out and play stuff.
To put this in the bigger contextual perspective, I live in the middle of nowhere, Rogers, and they lived over the hill from me. And so we were, in the sense that neighbors exist out there, we were as close to being neighbors as you really can be, even though we were like a mile away from each other.
Yeah, you didn't
know?
want to walk. You still had the
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you didn't. I mean, you could walk, and it would be a hike, but it was. That was about as close as it gets. But I knew him because we went to school together. I'd been watching their bands play for years. My brother had them come and play in my kitchen and on top of our hill when I was a little kid. So I was, it was a weird connection. All these different things aligned,
It was written in the stars for Album.
Yeah, it really was. So yeah.
What were the bands that got you guys into it? Like, what made you want to pick up a guitar or bass or drums, or what made you want to play?
Ramones for me. Well, that was a big one. And I guess in one way, Jason being my older brother, that kind of pushed it along as well. But I think Ramones, Green Day, just like hearing all these different punk bands that really were kind of popular in the mid 90s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think that's what really pushed it. Then to get heavier, I suppose would be just Sabbath. That pushed it. And then, from then, it went in different directions, but Sabbath was the band to be like,
Yeah.
oh man, this is cool. I want to play heavy music now.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. I had Black Sabbath when I was a kid. And my brother was into it, Ozzy solo stuff too. And that was just, that's as good as it got as far as I was concerned, the songwriting and the heaviness and nothing else. Everything else was just a pale comparison. It was just a shadow of what that stuff was. So, yeah, that's for me. What do you think, Jason?
Me? Well, I kind of remember it pretty well. I started picking up just an acoustic around the house, and then it was like at one point I got a friend of mine had a Green Day CD, the Rancid, Out Come the Wolves, and the first Goldfinger album. And I listened to those three, and it was honestly life-changing for me to hear all those songs. Like, 3 chords. That's all a song has to be. I know 3 chords. And that kind of just like, I never really learned a lot of cover songs, but just kind of learned from that on how to write, and kind of learned guitar on to write music rather than play whatever. So, but yeah, all pop punk, and later on, just I don't know, Black Sabbath. And,
I got you. So I kind of
yeah.
describe you guys as a mix. Obviously I hear a lot of Sabbath, but I hear a lot of other nods to other stuff there too. Like Manowar for sure. I hear Megadeth in there.
Yeah.
I even hear some early Metallica stuff in there.
Yeah.
And you've gotten even kind of heavier recently with stuff and kind of even more thrashy. But how would you guys say kind of the sound has sort of evolved over the years from the start to now?
Oh man, I mean, I think. Look, those first few songs were experiments for us. We'd never really done anything like that before. Mm-hmm. So it was like, okay, how do we write songs that sound like this? And that's what we did. And I think in a lot of ways they were almost kind of jokes or parodies of ideas that we had. I'm not saying that they were absolute jokes or parodies, but in a way they were like that. They were kind of written in that milieu. And from there, we just realized that we could do more serious things with our writing. We became more confident, and I was like, okay, this isn't silly anymore. Now we can make something that has a more serious tone, tenor, and mood to it, and that's why I think.
Yeah.
Am I wrong there? I don't know. What do you guys
and
think?
just coming from all playing in punk bands, we just always wanted to play fast. So that was always in there. Like, well, we can do some slow, sludgy stuff.
Yeah.
But we like punk. We like hardcore.
Yeah, I mean the first
gotta
couple
keep
of
it
bands I
fast.
was in they were punk bands.
Yeah.
I was in very few metal bands. I played more punk live in other bands than I did than anything else too. So we all three of us had that aspect to us already.
In our opening years, we didn't allow us to jam. It was like there was a strict no jam.
No jam.
If jam started breaking out, we'd be like, what?
Yeah.
No jam. We're writing songs.
Yes.
And then once we allowed jamming, then we...
Yeah.
That's probably may have what pushed us to start writing more rock things. And that's what introduced maybe that into it a little bit more. Allowing ourselves to be like, all right, let's just hang out here, do a guitar solo, maybe go back to the verse or something.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of that 70s influence stuff, there's songs that kind of have that more 70s rock vibe to them that we have, and that's definitely just us screwing around,
Yeah, trying to write stuff that we like, just trying to write music that you hear on the radio and
Well, there was a long period of a lot of Jethro Tull, Uriah Heep, Captain Beyond, Sir Lord Baltimore. We had a long 70s rock period, and we just sat in the garage and listened to a lot of that stuff, and we ate it up, But
and there's a lot of outtake songs that never made it that we were going through this weird 70s rock phase.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably 5 songs that we never put out because it just, we were going through this transition, and once we kind of wrote those songs we never used, then we started to get more metal and started to listen to more thrash and death metal.
Yeah,
and that kind of started pushing us. Oh, and always trying to push ourselves to not play the same thing twice.
I just noticed in our live shows that our thrashier, harder, faster stuff always got more crowd reaction, and I was like, look, man, this is what's selling us as a live act. Yeah, right. And I think me more than anybody kind of I think we collectively all decided that it was the direction to go, but I definitely remember coming to practice and being like, I gotta veto this, we need to go in this direction, and I think we were listening to a ton of thrash at the time. Yeah.
And then within the past handful of years, when we really started, especially Jason and myself, really started getting into a lot of death metal and going into those rabbit holes. And that's when the whole newer batch of songs kind of got written, where like Body Bag and
Our latest EP release.
Yeah. Even the last full-length album has a lot of that stuff in it too, for sure.
Blast beats start making an appearance.
Well, you could always save the 70s stuff for, the box set down the line. The collector's box set, the outtakes. You gotta have, hang on to something.
That's when we're 60 and tired.
It's gonna come in a vault, and we're gonna hand deliver them. I don't think that's ever been done before.
I always like how these bands there's a new box set from people. Like all, I was like, what else could they possibly be farming out, or what other material could be? I guess apparently back then you just went into the studio and just recorded every single thing you ever did.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then some of the stuff, like every time you listen to that stuff, it's like we listened to like one time. It's like, all right, I understand why this didn't ever make it to an album. Like, you just didn't need released. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But there's a lot of that. But I'm not saying that your guys, their 70s rock period was like that. But
That's kind of why we didn't put the song down.
We recently listened to them and we're like, oh, that part's cool. That part's kind of cool. But
Yeah, we'll go back and mine through it and we'll pull the ideas that are worth reusing out.
And then some of them you hear, and then we ended up using it, but just kind of used maybe that vibe or just switched it to something completely different. But we almost took the influence from ourselves.
Mm-hmm. It's good to have a back catalog as writing goes. I feel like it's always helped us to periodically every few years go, okay, pull out the old stuff we didn't use. Okay, here's an idea, and that always helps us kind of grease the wheels for new material.
Yeah, just like to inspire. Maybe not even pull that stuff, but just to kind of be like, oh, that's kind of cool. Then their next practice, we just have this desire to like, all right, let's write like a nice dehumanizer tempo or whatever it may be,
Yep.
yes, so talk about the latest EP, right? Snacks, that's the latest EP, right?
Yeah.
And that just came out, they come out in the summer?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a double EP. There's the EP Snacks and then the EP, or Theep. You can call it Theep if you want. And so the idea was behind that was we wanted to do punk songs about food.
Yeah.
We had these couple songs about...
That was an old idea.
Yeah, and then we just had these songs and we were like, well, they don't really fit with the metal songs. So that's why we did the double disc, 2 different EPs. And even I think the metal stuff is more quote unquote metal than our other barely survived album.
Yeah.
But
yeah, because we understand when a metal band says like, and then one of them's metal, and people are like, yeah, so it's just like music. Like, no, it's more metal.
But more metal.
Yeah.
But when we went to the studio with that Mind Rocket, we purposely like tried to make our tones, more punk sound. He used a different drum kit, tried, cleaner song or things, not as much double tracking vocals, and so that was a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah.
I gotcha. So anything, you guys always working on new material? Anything new kind of in the works, or looking forward as far as material comes next year? Any releases on the horizon?
I think we have a couple. We have a single. I think we're going to release this winter as to tide people over.
Yep, got a new video that'll be coming out before the end of the year.
Yeah, and then we have a couple songs that I think we're going to cut and kind of release as a single thing. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do about full lengths. I don't know if we'll ever really do full lengths again.
Yeah, we've been kind of in this EP phase, and it seems now it's all about that internet blast, and you keep hitting them with a couple songs.
I know a lot of bands are doing that now, where they're just either EPs or then just doing like kind of song at a time, because like it gets lost. Like sometimes you put out a full record and it's there for a minute, and then you're like, oh, we spent all this time on a record, and then poof, it's sort of gone. And it's hard to like sustain any interest in it over like a long period of time. So that might be the way to go.
You work on an album for a year and a half, and then in 2 months afterwards, people are done sharing it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like streaming has kind of changed the way.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is. It hurts because it's harder to make money now.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can even see it like on the the Spotify plays. You can see the results of what people listening to, and as the albums go on, it's not that the songs are any worse, but the plays go down.
Mm-hmm.
As they just start to trickle off. People 4 songs in, they're done.
Yeah.
And I know for myself,
listening to a full length album it's difficult.
I think one thing, luckily for us, is we like tangible music, and our fans like tangible music.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like if we release something and told people, like, oh, this is just streaming, people are like confused.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And usually, even with just the Snacks EP, people were like, is this going to be out on vinyl? And we're like, no. But it kind of feels good when people want that in such a day and age where people are like, oh, I don't even own a CD player. And I'm like, man, I got a 5-disc loaded right now.
Yeah.
You still get CDs made.
Yeah, this is probably terrible, but we never ever push our Spotify ever. Like I don't put that link in. Like it's probably a bad thing, but I hate Spotify so much that I'm just like, no, I don't. I'm not sending people there. Like we're on there or whatever.
Yeah.
You can listen to us on Apple Music and all that stuff. We're on all that stuff, but I don't ever push the digital side of stuff. You know what I mean? Unless you're going to download it from us directly or whatever, because it's like it just. Yeah, you get a zillion plays, and then here's 43 cents. You know what I mean? Like I'm good on this.
I mean, I feel like we've had to utilize it in the way that's like, okay, if we have a digital footprint, we utilize the Spotify, the streaming music to tell people what to expect when they come to see the live show. You know, and it's like, because really, look, the live show is where we make our money. You come to the live show, we make a cut of the door, we sell you T-shirts, right? We need people to get there and look at us.
Yeah.
And Spotify is the way to be like, okay, here's what it sounds like. Here's the songs you'll hear. Come check it out. And by the way, the live version's better. You know, I don't. That's kind
The
of
show's the party.
Yeah.
the show's the party. You know.
And a lot of people come up, I listened to you on Spotify as they're buying the CD.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
makes me feel good
Yeah.
that they want something to look at. And a couple people don't even have CD players, but they buy it just to
have the
collection.
item,
Yeah.
I guess, is what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, I'm not against people listening to stuff on Spotify. I'm just against Spotify.
No, yeah, I agree. I think
it stinks because you have to be.
Yeah, you have to be on
there.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
No,
I mean, there or Apple Music or whatever, but you gotta be out there.
you don't do vinyl, do you?
We don't, because I don't have the patience to wait the time it takes to do it, and then by the time you get the vinyl, it's like the record's done.
Yeah.
It takes us long enough to put together a record and to put it out to begin with. That like to wait another year on top of that, I'd be like, all right, like I can't sit on
it's
this.
too long. It's too long.
Yeah, it's like years of sitting on the same songs, because it takes us so long to get enough to put on a record, and then we're already by the time we put it out, it's like, all right, we've been playing these for how long? You know what I mean? So
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we've thought about doing vinyl again, but it's always like you said. It's like.
And then there's no
By
margin
then-
on it either. Like
Yep.
you got to charge so much for it to even just break even, and it's tough.
We'll probably do a 7-inch of some singles and stuff. We've never done a 7-inch.
Just an album
no.
7.
Yeah.
And I know as a band, there's certain things like almost like a checklist. Our rock list. You got to check off certain things. Like, okay, before anything happens, we got to do this. We got to do this and this, and a 7-inch. Which I think having a single on a 7-inch would be badass.
Yeah, it would be. No, we haven't.
One song.
Classic.
Yeah.
What's the strangest gig you guys have ever played? Is there one that stands out that's just like
Well,
The strange.
for whatever reason? Yeah.
well, we did that now that's class show where we didn't know there were going to be strippers opening up for us for like a birthday party.
That one's
Yeah.
And so we had to follow like girls picking up bottles with things and
yeah,
that
dollar
whole
bills off of
thing.
noses.
so
and
that was
stuff. That was intense.
a little odd.
Was it a tough act to follow, or was it an easy act to follow? It could go either way depending on what the strippers look like, I guess.
You know what? Everybody had a real good time even
Yeah.
after. Yeah, our set went well. No,
Everyone was all engorged and ready to party.
I mean, otherwise than that, I don't know.
Besides like the awkward show that nobody's
man.
at.
Where
Yeah,
no one's
everybody-
there.
everybody has those.
Yeah,
We're just
everybody
like,
has those.
yeah.
Yeah. Nothing,
No, nothing too super strange. I'd say.
nothing too weird. That was probably one of the weirder ones for sure.
Oh, we did go all the way to Wisconsin
I was gonna.
Oh my
to
god.
play, and because this dude was like big time album fan, and I don't know all this stuff, and they were super nice people, but it was also his or somebody's birthday, and in Wisconsin people just want to drink, so we were playing, and it was just like we drove however many hours to be there, and it was like nobody cared.
Yeah, that was really
And
strange.
they'd be like, man, great show, and I don't know all this stuff, but it was like, you didn't even...
Yeah.
It
you were
was
in another
so weird.
I was
That
thinking of
weird.
the other Wisconsin show. That's
Yeah,
funny
with
you said that
Wisconsin.
one.
Here's the weirdest thing we've ever done. Played at 2 shows in Wisconsin, and they were just like, what is going on out here? These people are so freaking strange.
It was a
music fest thing.
It was this
Yeah,
music
it was
festival, and I'll just explain. It felt like we were in Latonia,
Okay.
Yeah.
and it was this this
like maybe
weird
worse
clique.
though.
Like
yeah.
this weird clique where they only really like their group. I'm not gonna say anything about the bands. And I don't know if they were very good. I don't know, but they didn't like us.
They did not.
We
like
didn't
us.
fit in.
We did not.
We didn't have enough jewelry.
The best,
on.
the best thing I can say was I watched this band play, and it was dude. And again, I'm not ripping on. If they want to play, go for it.
Whatever.
I am not. But 2 dudes, and it was just guitar and maybe bass playing, and they were
I remember this.
they were definitely playing. You know? But when they were done, somebody's like, "Man, good job! You guys did better than last year." And I was like, "Dang."
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was so.
And
yeah.
then we play, and a part of you is thinking like, "Man,
we're gonna tear up."
We're gonna really go over well."
Yeah,
then. But it's just kind of
they
like
did not like us. They had no interest in us.
it was weird.
Nope.
It was
They're-
very strange.
The weird gigs for us, like and we've played several over the years, but where it's like there's people there, right? And like there's one city in particular that I don't know if they like. There's like no scene there. Like there's people there, but they don't know what it wants to be. So it's
Sure.
just sort of all over the place. And we just play straight rock and roll. And when people are looking at you, like, we're just playing AC/DC rock, and they're like looking at you like you have shit coming out of your nose or like. And I'm like what is this you're playing? Like it's you don't know 3 chords, like
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that sort of weirdness. Like those are always the ones where it's like oh man, I think I said on stage once during the thing, and then nobody got the reference. I did a Rodney Dangerfield jokes, and I was like, I was like, hey, if anybody tells you guys are a hot crowd, you spit in their face, okay? And then we went to the next song. They didn't. Again, they're just standing there like, we don't
I am
know.
stealing that. I am stealing
I stole from
that.
Rodney.
No,
so
that is such a good joke. That is so good.
But yeah, man. So everybody gets this one too. So Desert Island albums, right? You got 3 albums you can take. What are your top 3? I'll throw you out mine, and these change. Some of these,
I would think that. Yeah.
depending on what it is. But the ones that I always generally go back to, I always say AC/DC Powerage. I always say Huey Lewis and the New Sports. That one's usually always in there. The third one changes a ton. Today I'm gonna say, just because you guys are here, I'm gonna say Kiss, Crazy Nights.
Oh.
I think it's a pretty good cross section of stuff.
Yeah. Sure.
I got the straight rock, the 80s, and then the cheese. So it's all
Okay,
You got one?
I'll
You
go
got yours?
with Green Day, Insomniac. I'll go with Kiss, Animalize,
nice.
and oh shoot, the Red Grand Funk album.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
That'll be my 3.
What's
I figure
the red one called?
I think it's just self-titled.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
okay, okay.
But I don't want Closer to Home because there's too many slow songs.
There's some lame songs on Closer to Home.
So those are my.
you
I
got?
think I could find all of what I need. And
You got your 3?
Let me think. Yeah, I'll just try to shoot off the.
how many Joker
Shoot
cards
from the
are in
hip.
there?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, for real, I would have to say probably Kiss Alive 1.
He's got gas.
The Riddle Box by ICP,
Wow.
and then
That's a recent development, everyone. That's a recent development.
within the last year and a half, and then probably something like I don't know, something fun like Thing Fish by Frank Zappa.
Oh, this is such a hard question to answer.
What Kiss album are you taking, Winfield?
I'm not taking none. No Kiss. Maybe that one. No, I'm not taking Kiss. No. I think I have to take. Oh man, Volume 4, Black Sabbath. I think is probably on there. Wow, this is really hard. This is such a
You're
dumb.
laying on the beach hoping some boat shows up.
Shit, man. I'm taking Beck Odelay.
Okay. Yeah.
Fun one.
Yeah, and I think, man, I'm taking Enter the Wu-Tang. I'm taking, yeah, I think I am because it's just so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are my Those are my three.
Those
Sabbath
are the
Volume
three.
4, Back Odelay, Enter the Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers, you know.
Man, if we were all three stuck on an island together, we'd have quite the collection.
Yeah, we would. It would be nice.
That's a good.
I could live with all that,
Yeah,
you know?
That's a good. Yeah, that's a great cross section. One thing that I like about you guys too is like you guys have fun when you play, and it's it's a show. It's fun to watch you guys play too, as opposed to like a lot of that I think is missing. Like sometimes I'll go see bands and it's like they could sound good or whatever, but there's not like that excitement aspect of it's just kind of not there. Is it for you guys? Is it just a case of like again? A lot of your influences and that sort of thing, sort of shaping the fact that you guys entertain as well as you know what I mean, as well as play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we definitely, all of our somewhat favorite bands are bands like Sabbath, Grand Funk, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Are bands who put on shows, or if not put on a show, like when they're playing, they're at least smiling and
Oh, it's a party. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, and
Van Halen are
yeah.
probably not playing and being like standing still and bums on stage. You know what I mean?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
No, I mean every good rock band I've ever seen any footage of or in person were energetic and engaging. And if you're not doing that, I think you're missing the point of this in some way. I know that I'm not always the most energetic and engaging mostly because I'm so focused on trying to play the notes correctly because I'm not a very good guitar player. But
You're way better than me. You play a lot of
it's
notes.
hard. It's
You're
hard
good.
to like, you know, that stuff's complicated. But I try really hard to move and bounce and look and point and, you know, and
Yeah.
again, engage as much as I possibly can because everybody I've ever emulated or thought was really cool, that's what they do, you know, and that's part of the game here.
Yeah, you got to entertain. I mean, people are, you know, it's funny. Sometimes you think people might not want to be entertained by that, but then you throw out a how's it going in their city and people love it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they do.
It's funny. They still fall for the same.
fall for it.
Tricks,
But,
you know?
but it's real.
You just do what Paul Stanley does, and you'll end up having a good show.
There's a reason that people continuously go and watch those people over and over and
Yeah.
over again, and it's not because it's a trick. It's because they feel like those guys, Paul Stanley's talking to you, and he's there. He's excited that you're there just as much as you're excited as he's there. So.
We're still learning. I still hear
Yeah,
things I say
absolutely.
on stage. I was just telling you the other night. Hear things that you say on stage like, "Oh my goodness, what was
I've
doing?"
gone too far a couple of times. Like,
You got to try
jackass,
stuff, you know. You sometimes you got to throw a Rodney Danger joke in there.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, there's sometimes I've taken it too far, and I'm be like, there was one gig I did it. I think Keith came up to me after. He's like, "You were really reaching there, weren't you?" I'm like, "Yeah." I was trying. He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, we won't be saying that one. We won't be saying that again." I'm glad nobody filmed that.
Yeah.
But
And back to that. I feel we are all having a good time playing.
Yeah.
We're having a good time playing with each other.
That's
We're
what I
so
was gonna-
buds.
That's
you
what I was
know?
going to say. I think like we are just such good friends still that when we put them in before the show, as in we all put in our one of those
whatever these things are, or hang tens.
Yeah, it is like our brains all connect
Yes.
and
Yeah.
like we need time before a show, every show to get together just to like crack jokes, get like into this zone. We get our heads back into the garage.
Yep. It's a process. Forgetting that you're playing a show is half of the way that we play good shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that like it's like, okay, there's nobody out there. If there is anybody out there, they're like, you know, we're rock stars.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
We're convincing ourselves that we are.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how you put on a good show.
And then, we know, like, when you look at each other during the set, it's, of course, we're not sneering at each other.
No. No.
Something like that
no.
or anything. Even if it's a mistake, it's more of like a laugh anymore.
Yep.
And
Yep. We've gotten really good at bouncing out of bad situations. And when someone makes a mistake, we recover very quickly now, and we don't let it drag our shows
Yeah,
down
we can all
or get upset about
laugh
it.
about it
Yeah.
afterwards. Man, that keeps happening.
Yeah.
In one of our songs,
Oh yeah.
I think Jason kept rushing a chorus, and
That's
we
right.
fixed it every time, but it was funny.
Yeah, I've done that several times where it's like, oh crap, or it's like, yeah, I rush a chorus or forget. Oh, this is supposed to double here before it went to the solo, and then don't, and like that happens often, and you're like, oh crap, like
all the time.
Gotta cover. Have you guys ever written a song that was like too difficult or a giant pain in the ass to play live?
Yes.
We're just like
a lot of them.
like. Yeah.
I have songs I won't play.
There's a song, the last song on the Barely Survived album we played out once, and we knew that when writing it, we were like,
We're not
playing this song. I like the song. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, I love it.
But it's just an album closer. We played it on the album release
Yeah.
date when we played the whole album. And then, though that song, then there's a couple, like Winfield mentioned earlier, you try it and the crowd, people just don't get into it in a live situation. So you just kind of stop playing that one. And
I think there's some songs too that it's like, okay, if we played this on the regular every single week, we practice, we'd probably be okay at it. But like that PMC, it's a tricky riff, and if you get off, you're off, and you don't get back, and it's like it's just not worth. It's not worth rolling the dice in a live show to bring it out and make that mistake. I think.
I think a lot of our songs throughout our entire career have been very difficult.
They are difficult.
Like we, we kind of write at the certain songs. We're writing like at the complete peak of our ability, and then we have to practice it for a year.
Yeah.
We have a song that we just played for the first time. I think at a Halloween party or something, and it was just, and we've been playing it for almost a year, probably.
Yeah, we probably have.
I always love coming out of the studio, right? So you go to the studio and like everybody plays the parts. You do overdubs, and you're doing, you're making all this. You spend all this time to make it sound perfect in the studio, and then when you go back to playing it live, and you guys would play this too, just as a 3-piece. It's like you start playing, like, God, we suck at this song. Like, it's like you got to relearn the whole song and make it sound good in that context, because you just, with us, like you put all the studio magic on it and you make it real big and whatever, and then it's like, God damn, that happens a lot of times with vocal parts. Are like, how did I sing this in the studio, or how did I do this? And then like live, I'm like, okay, I need to figure out a way to do this without running out of breath at the end of the song. Without that happens a lot. Like I put too many lyrics in songs. I notice like I'm usually pretty good as far as the guitar parts go, and being able to get around that. But like there's times where all these lyrics are going, and then we start playing live. I'm like, I'm out of breath. I can't sing all these lyrics.
Yes.
Why did I put this many words in the song?
Yeah. I feel like we've come out of recording sessions and been like, oh, we're better at this song now. That happens a lot. Like it took recording to like hammer out the reality of what that piece of music really was. Because before that, it was like we never really got heard it for real. It's especially vocals. Like I'll be singing, and like once I cut vocals for a song, I'm like, I have to exaggerate in this way, or I have to do an affectation this way, and then from there on out, when I sing that song live, it sounds more like the recorded product than it did prior to that. So I feel like that helps us a lot of times, actually.
And when you're practicing, well, I mean, for us, we're just playing through monitors, so you're kind of, yelling, trying to make sure it's loud. You really don't know what you're doing.
We
you
don't
don't know
know
if
what we
you're on
sound
key or, sounds good at practice.
Right.
Dog's not complaining, so.
Yeah.
So do you guys still? You guys had the album, the podcast going for a while. Is that just on a hiatus right now, or are you guys going to bring that back at some point?
We want to. The whole purpose of the podcast was to fill the gap when shows were shut down, and then when shows came up, we were kind of like, cool, practicing and playing shows, and then it was like, so we are planning on doing one now that after our December show, we're taking a show hiatus just to practice and write new songs.
Yeah, we
do a couple podcasts.
Yeah, we had a really busy summer and spring, and so that kind of we just didn't have time. Those still, not that they're scripted podcasts, but still takes time to get together, and all of us are
write commercials.
You guys put production value in your podcast, though. Like it's not just whatever. Like you write commercials. You do like there's different segments. You edit it all together. There's all kinds of sound effects and stuff like in that, which is what makes it hilarious.
Right.
But it takes a lot of time, like you said. It's not like an easy, like, you know, I mean, like maybe just the sit down. All right, we're gonna do a half hour, 45 minutes here, whatever. Like that part.
That part's easy.
Putting it all
Yeah.
together after is like, yeah.
I think we've lost 2 full episodes. Isn't that right?
Lost one.
Okay.
Didn't use the other.
Oh, that's right. We had one that we never even used.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
and then
right.
the one that we lost when we finished, we were all like, "That was the
That's
one of the
right.
best
We were like, that was
episodes
the
we've
best
ever done."
episode. And it erased. I think it erased right after.
It
he
erased
looked
right
at us.
after
We're
that.
like, we all high fived. And we were like, yeah. And Jason's like, it's gone. We're like, nah. It was a nightmare. I forget why we didn't use one of them. I think we just finished it and
was
we were
bad.
like, it was just bad.
It was like it felt forced or something.
Yeah, we just walked
Yeah.
away from it being like, that wasn't funny, and we were like unhappy with it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Something about that was always like, I don't know.
We're our biggest filter critique, so we're
Well, add it to the box set.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
The B-sides and rarities.
Yeah, we're gonna
all the
20
jokes
years from now.
all the jokes that
we're
can't
gonna be
told.
making bank on that box set.
So, kind of wrapping up here, right? Once again, like you guys are going to be at Noble Creature this Friday, November 29th. That's with Kill the Hippies. Let's talk about them for a minute. Kill the Hippies has been around. I'm trying to think. Have they been around 30 years?
Every bit of 30, maybe longer.
We played with them in our old band, the Numbskulls, in probably 99.
90, probably 98 or
Okay.
97 or 98.
The first I saw them would have been around
Yeah.
that time, late 90s, and we played with them. I remember, and that was when I was in the Fools Like You. I was 20 years ago, you know. So
They
yeah.
were around since at least the late 80s. My sister dated Matt Trahan in high school. She sang in that band at one point, and I want to say that was 89 or 90.
Oh wow, okay. They've been
Around for a
almost
long
40,
time, but
like,
this
getting-
new,
yeah.
and if I'm wrong about this, Trahan, please correct me. But I'm pretty sure that's the story I've been told. And then, yeah, then Matt went on and formed and reformed it with Melissa when they got together, and I think that was in the mid '90s and up in Kent. And yeah, they've been around forever.
Yeah.
They're legends.
we're pumped. They're like our favorite, collectively our favorite band, I would say.
Yeah.
We're just super into everything, and
I listened to that album, Spasms in the New Age, like every day for years. It's one of the greatest albums I've ever listened
that
to.
could be an island.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, we played with them in probably 97 or 98. Winfield's brother put on a show at the Roger Sale. It was on a Saturday.
Yep.
And they had it under one of the open pavilions and just had a bunch of bands. And I'm pretty sure that was
That was a legendary show.
It was legendary, and I'm pretty sure the last time they ever let anybody.
No bands after that.
No. There were swords, dirt
Yeah.
bikes, people swinging off rafters.
Yeah,
It
that-
was wild.
I wish I could have been there. I'm sure it was.
You were probably 9.
Yeah, I was a little kid.
Do you remember Matt had that side project that was called Screamin' Hot?
Oh yeah, my brother was in that. My brother was I think he played bass or guitar. No, rhythm guitar. He played rhythm
was the
guitar.
video, was
in
it
that.
Red Hot and Cocky? Was that the name of
Yep,
the one video?
yep.
What was that? Was that the video where he was chasing the dude with the sword?
Yes,
down the road?
yes.
Amazing.
Yeah, I don't even know if you can find that anywhere anymore. I think it's all been taken down.
I posted years ago. I don't know how many years ago this was. I posted on Facebook and somebody found it and did it for a minute. It was back for a minute.
Yeah.
I don't remember if they just posted it directly to Facebook or if it was a YouTube thing, whatever. But yeah, I remember that video being.
It's awesome.
It's amazing.
It's hilarious. Screaming Hot is.
We played with them once at Now That's Class.
Okay.
And
Oh yeah, that's
it
right.
was like, and we're like friends with them, but it was still one of the greatest shows
Yeah,
I've seen.
it
I
was.
remember Matt did the first song, maybe song and a half, with these shackles on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just for the time to lift them up and break them.
Goliath. His character, he was Goliath.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, they had some really good songs, man.
That's
so
a hopeful
good.
album project for us. Is us. We want to do something with Matt one day.
Yeah, we want to be his backing band, like album versus Goliath. That would be so cool.
Nice. So yeah. So again, yeah. So that's this Friday at Noble Creature.
Oh, and we have a new beer coming out, too.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
we're
yeah,
doing
yeah.
a collab with Noble Creature. I don't want to say too much about
Right.
it.
It's a beer premiere.
It's a beer premiere.
An amber ale, we could say that, right?
Yeah, it is.
So it's like a red.
It's
so
a red. Yeah.
These two have tried it.
Oh,
Supposedly.
did you try it?
I
Yeah,
tried the
I
other
liked
day.
it.
It was very good.
Yeah, it's really good. It's
Nice,
tasty.
nice. Did
Yeah.
you do the artwork for like the? Is it a can or
It is, yeah. It's my brother did it. Yeah, it's Nate Dre artwork on that can on
Yeah.
the label, so it's nice.
And Jason whipped the label all together.
Yep, he did.
Winfield did the write up for it.
I did. Yep.
Nice, nice.
Josh is gonna drink it all.
And I'm going to drink it. It's a team collaboration.
Nice, and then Friday, December 6th, again, you're back at Westside Bowl. What's up with them? So I'm not sure of the bands. I think Bridesmaid I've heard of. Aren't they instrumental, like stoner rock riffish
Yeah,
bridge, I
they
believe?
are,
And then
yeah.
Super Corruptor. I'm thinking of Super Predator, not Super Corruptor.
Oh, yeah.
So I've not heard Super Corruptor or Punching Moses. You know what those guys are about?
Oh yeah, we played with Super Corruptor a few times.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those guys they're musically kind of hard to explain. They're kind of post-hardcore, but
Yeah.
they're metal. And
There's like a
it's the singers-
Pantera-ish aspect
Yeah,
to
the
it.
singer's
Not
real metal.
Yeah, it's
Singer's
cool.
super fun to watch. He makes some good faces.
It's tough guys.
it's
It's very
super
tough guy.
Super tough.
It is
Yeah,
tough
it's
guy.
cool though.
And the guys are really nice.
Yeah, everybody in that band is super awesome.
Yeah.
They're super cool dudes.
And they have Bridesmaid. They've been around
A long time.
super long time, and I think now they're just hanging it up for a little bit, doing someone's going back to school or something like that. So pretty cool. Pretty pumped that they asked us to
And then Punching Moses.
do that. And then Punching Moses.
We're good friends with Ben in that band. to
Ben
sing
and I,
it.
yeah.
And we just saw him for the first time over the summer, and
Yep.
we were all like,
And
they cover all grounds of metal.
Yeah, they do a lot.
It
And
is.
punk. I mean,
And
it's
punk.
it's like
Yeah.
hardcore. Yeah, it's like kind of crossover stuff. It's
Fast.
weird. Yeah,
It's good.
it's really good.
It'll
Really
be a
good
show.
band.
Very good show.
Yeah, everybody on this bill is really tough.
Yeah, all super good bands.
Yep. Yep.
So-
Nice. So where can people get a hold of you, or where can they find you online? I'm obviously guys on Facebook and all that, whatever. But any specific links they can go to?
Well, we got albumtheband.com. You can go there, see what's going on, or at albumtheband on Instagram is probably our most used. I mean, we use
Yeah.
Facebook, but it kind of stinks sometimes. But
Facebook sucks.
yeah, but we're on there
Pretty much,
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
And so and yeah, again, kind of over the course of 2025, you said you're going to take some time off to start, writing some new songs.
Yeah.
When can people kind of expect, a new video, any kind of new music? But what are sort of the plans for next year?
As far as next year, because like we said, we're hoping we're gonna have a song and video out before 2025.
Mm-hmm.
I think we already have a song that we're just finishing up mixing, so pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll probably be that. Other than that, I think we have one thing booked in June or July.
So just try to book up the summer again, and
And hopefully have enough. I think we're going to try and write enough to have at least something else to put out by summer, so that
Yeah.
we have something to promote and something to sell in hand, and then just ride out the year. Like I said, the nature of the biz has changed, and I think we're kind of in a transitional phase as well with how we approach releasing and doing things now.
So the new tune that's coming out, what's stylistically? Because I mean, the EPs were, like I said, a little more punk or a little more on the thrashy side. Like you mentioned, sort of Cannibal Corpse even influence on some of that stuff. Like as far as as far as the new song coming out, where's that kind of fall? More like Barely Survived stuff, or more?
Is it Hell to Pay?
no, it'd be Song Y.
Oh yeah,
It's just like
It's kind of right in the middle.
hardcore.
yeah, it's just kind of a hardcore song.
Pretty
It's real
crossover.
short. It's it's real quick and fast.
I was listening to a lot of Suicidal Tendencies when I wrote the riff. so
That's right.
pretty crossover.
Yeah.
Yep. So that one will be out this
Winner.
winter,
Yeah.
and then the early next year, we have a song called "Hell to Pay" we'll be putting out, and that is just 1978 Black Sabbath.
Yeah,
Sounding.
yeah.
Sounds like it's off of
Yeah.
Technical Ecstasy
Yeah.
Yeah,
or Never Say Die.
we're excited about that one.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's goofy. It'll be good.
it's a good
But
one. Yeah.
definitely, when we come back to play new shows in 2025, we will have new songs.
Yep.
That is
That's a promise.
that is the ultimate goal. Is
Yes.
we need some new songs.
we need some new songs.
I mean, we're always writing.
Yeah.
and we have new songs, but to us as a band, we are always trying to move forward And we're pretty caught up on projects.
Yes, we are.
You
We
know-
had a lot of irons in the fire for the past year, and we finally finished most of them up.
Yeah.
And I'd say when the band started, it was like, okay, which sounds weird to say, but it was like, okay, we have our first album, then we'll do an EP, and then the second album, then the third album, and like we almost had
Mapped.
things planned in a certain way. And even like Winfield said, snacks. The idea of that is an old thing. So
But like,
we're pretty caught up on.
We're caught up, and now we need to reassess how we go forward. Yep.
Nice. Well, guys, thank you again for coming down, man. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thanks for having us.
Everybody
Thank you.
check out album again this Friday at Noble Creature, Friday, December 6th at Westside Bowl. But thank you guys.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, BJ.